Welcome to Unlocking Your Truth, another podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips.
Hello everyone, welcome to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley. My name is Dr. Lesley Phillips and I'll be your host for the next hour along with Corey, who is also in the studio with me as usual.
Hello everybody.
Hello Corey. So if you are a new listener, welcome to Unlocking Your Truth. If you're a regular listener, also welcome to Unlocking Your Truth. Of course, Unlocking Your Truth is a talk show, and we focus on metaphysics and spirituality, intuition, healing, anything in that realm. And we always start the show with the topic of the day, which is aimed at raising your consciousness and educating you about metaphysics and spirituality, and we're happy to talk about anything you want us to, so you're welcome to write to us with your topic suggestions to info@drlesleyphillips.com. And of course, after the first 20 minutes, after the topic of the day, you're welcome to phone up and join in the discussion. And we welcome you to phone and ask about anything you like, really, that you would like an intuitive insight. So as you know, if you're a regular listener, I'm a professional intuitive, and it's just my position in life to be of service as I can to helping you connect with your higher guidance by giving you information in response to your questions. So listeners, you're welcome to call us, and the number is 604-504-7441, extension 4142. Well, without further ado, let me introduce the topic of the day. So, can you tell when somebody's lying to you? How good are you at telling when somebody's lying to you? And would it be great if you could always know if you're being lied to? That would be a great skill to have, I think. So that's what the topic today is. It's how can you tell the difference between the truth and a lie? And the other thing is, how do you know when you're lying to yourself? How well do you know yourself, listeners? How much of what you put out there into the world is real, and how much is a facade? And do you always tell the truth about what you see and what you know and how you feel? Or do you keep a lot of that inside of you? And if you do consciously lie, what do you lie to others about? What do you lie to yourself about? And who's telling lies to you? Do you know? Is it your friends, your family, the government, the media? Who's telling lies to you? And how much have you been in your life invalidated by others so that you no longer believe in your own truth? These are some of the questions that we are going to pose this evening, listeners. And we're also going to share with you an easy way that you can tell the truth from a lie. So, what do you think? Does the average human lie most of the time? I think the average human is lying most of the time and not reflecting their inner, authentic self outwardly. Because most of our cultural and societal structures and systems are based on lies.
Isn't that the truth? Even more now.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe I'm not being, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Provocative. Maybe this is something we all accept now. We're lied to all the time, and it's just part of life. So what is a lie? What is a lie? A lie is not being authentic. And you can lie consciously or unconsciously. So if you're doing it consciously, then you're deliberately covering up the truth with a facade. Or if you're doing it unconsciously, then you're doing it from a place of denial or some kind of schism in your reality, which often happens in the cycle of abuse with people. There's one reality at home and there's another reality that is out there in the world. So why do we lie? Why do we tell lies?
I have an opinion.
Please share. Please do share.
Well, I think the world's become so hectic and so aggressive in every facet that I don't think we consider it lying anymore. I think we consider it self-protection. Everything from when a salesperson asks, "Can I help you?" and you go, "No," when actually you could use help because there's a fear mechanism. And when you said lying and examples of it, I think as far as getting used to lies, I think if you look at politics, we all know that we're being lied to on a regular basis.
Yes.
But what do we do about it? Nothing.
No.
We just accept it.
Yeah, we do. It's amazing.
It's look at our example this week when we went out for something to eat. We went to a fast food restaurant, which we don't do very often, for breakfast. And they've changed the way the signs are. And you can't see what you're ordering anymore. We went to a movie, the same thing. We were looking for the price of a popcorn. You can't see the price of a popcorn. The world is really getting to the point of the have and haves not wanting to take, and we are trying to protect. In order to protect, we sometimes fall into false modes, I gave it the office.
Yeah. So that's some of the reasons why we might lie. So let's explore why do we lie? And I think that where many of us taught from a young age that it is unsafe to express our true feelings. It's unsafe to say what we see and what we know. Within our intuitive nature, we're taught that it's not safe. So we learn to keep our own inner truth exactly as that inner truth. And the true self falls short of other people's expectations and meets with external invalidation. So we learn to create a facade that meets the expectations of others. And like I said, outer reality and inner reality are not the same for most people. Who they present to the world and who they really are deeply inside themselves, within themselves, not shared with anybody. They're not the same two things. And, of course, this is a subject for another show, and I mentioned it already. One of the main causes of this is abuse, and there are many types of abuse. What Corey was just talking about, I believe, is a form of consumer abuse, really. But the abuse of physical, sexual, mental, of all kinds is rife in our world. And, an abuser wants the truth about their abuse hidden. Often the one who's being abused feels so much shame that they want the truth about it hidden. So there's so much denial in pretty much most people in the world. We have a mad world full of abusers and liars. And so many of these people who are self-interested, if I say it loud enough, then that makes it the truth. If I say it on the media, then that makes it the truth. If it's reported on the news, that makes it the truth.
Well, that's what they say about the internet, right? If it's found on the internet, it's got to be true.
Yeah. So, how can we change this? How can we start being more real? And how can we tell when we're having the wool pulled over our eyes? Because you know what? It's really, really, really stressful to put on a facade. It takes a lot of energy to hold up a house of cards that big. Because I was going to share some examples, but I think I'm going to wait till I teach you this way of telling the truth from a lie. We're surrounded pretty much everywhere with lies, and it takes up so much energy for us to hold that facade in place. We all have this myriad of lies and facades in our personal energy field all the time. The human ego is kind of a bundle of lies. It's a false-made self, you know. So we're all participants and perpetuators of this on some level. So how can we change it? Would you like listeners to learn a way to be able to tell the truth from a lie?
I would.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's do it. Let's do it. And let's, at the same time, learn a couple of ways that we can be really, really brave as well and courageous. So, the first thing, and you know, if you're sitting at home listening, then you can join in with this. If you're in the car, wait for the podcast and then join in. So what I invite you to do is tune into an energy center near the base of your spine and create a flow of energy that goes from there to the center of the earth. We've taught this many times on the show, and it's called grounding. It helps you to be more real because it helps you to be in your body. And it gives you a way of letting go of the facades because you can release and let go of anything you want down this flow of energy. Okay, so close your eyes and create this grounding cord, this flow of energy from near the base of your spine to the center of the earth. And then focus your conscious awareness in the center of your head. Right in the very center of your head, right in the middle of your brain. Just focus your conscious awareness there. This is one of the seats of the soul. It's a place where you can be neutral and see what is. So it's very important if you want to be able to tell the difference between a truth and a lie, whether it's you lying to yourself or someone else lying to you. You'll be able to do it if you seat your consciousness in the center of your head. And then, from this place of being grounded and being in the center of your head, I want to invite you to create the mental image picture of a rose. So just imagine a rose in front of you, 6 to 8 inches in front of you. And what we're going to do is we're going to watch this rose. And if a lie is told, the rose will change in some way. If the truth is told, the rose will stay exactly the same. So, I'm going to play with you listeners and just tell you a couple of things, and you watch your rose. So, here's a fun fact. You see if this is true by watching your rose. Just like fingerprints, everyone has a different tongue print. What do you think, Corey? Is that true?
I think so.
It is true. Yes. All right. Keep watching your rose. A tarantula can live without food for more than 3 years. Is that true? What do you think, Corey?
I think so.
Well, you know what? It might be possible. That fact said more than 2 years, but I suppose they didn't put an upper limit on it, so it might be possible. How about this? The furthest that scientists have tracked butterflies is 2,000 miles. Is that true or false?
That's true.
No, that's false. They've tracked them for 3,000 miles.
Yeah, but
And maybe my questions aren't
those
very...
questions are very misleading. Because I was right in both times. You have to ask true, false questions for something like that.
Okay.
Without, limits, It's like if you ask me, Corey, you weigh 180 pounds. Yes, I do.
See, the trouble is I can't normally I would say things about myself if I had a group of students, but unfortunately Corey knows all the answers about myself, so I have to use fun facts from the internet.
But unfortunately I wasn't doing the meditation. I was thinking about questions.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, listeners, let's do a few for you, and then I'll tell you the answer. So I have a pet dog called Frank. Is that true or false? So look at your rose, mental image picture of a rose, and see if the rose changes or stays the same. If it stays the same, what I said is true. If it doesn't stay the same, what I said is a lie.
I can get this one right.
So tell them, Corey, is that true or false?
That is absolutely false.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have a dog, and it's not named Frank.
That's right.
So her illusionary dog might be named Frank, but...
Right. And I'm going to tell you another fun fact about myself, listeners, so that you can practice your truth lie rose. I spent part of my childhood in Australia and part of my childhood in England. Is that true or false? I'll give you a few minutes to look at your rose. What do you think, Corey?
I think that's probably true.
That is true.
You can tell by the English accent.
Mm-hmm. With the odd word that sounds a bit Australian. So listeners, did you see what was true and what was false? Last time I did that with a group of people, they were amazed because they all got the right answer every time we did it. So then now, what if we were to do some questions about the world? After the break, when we come back, let's do some questions about the world, things going on in the world, and see if we can be lied to anymore. I'll be back after these messages in a few minutes. Hello, listeners. Welcome back to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley. I hope that you enjoyed the last segment where we were talking about how to tell the truth from a lie. So, you can explore your truth using that technique. You can ask absolutely anything. You can even ask things about yourself and your own life and discover if you're lying to yourself. So, for example, let's take a look at some questions about the world. And I'll just make some things up. So, look at your rose and see if it changes. Freedom of the press still exists in most cases. Is that true or is that false? The ratio, let's see. Drugs are for healing. Drugs help people keep people alive. Is that true or false? Most of the profits from mutual funds go to the person who's investing in them. True or false? So you can ask about anything, listeners. You can ask about anything that you want to know about. How about health?
How about health?
Yeah. How about health? Yeah, you can. So if I just was having them look at
I know.
Yeah. You know. So what would you ask about health, Corey?
What would I ask about health?
Yeah.
What is the issue with my eye easily resolved? So let me go into that. And I'll look at that. And yeah.
I got yes.
I got yeah.
Yeah, I got yes.
I got yeah. We concur.
We do.
We concur.
But that actually brings me to another point, which is my truth always going to be the same as your truth?
Oh, good point.
And actually, it's not necessarily, because we're all a bit different, aren't we?
Good point.
All right, so listeners, you know, we're at the time in the show where you can phone us up with your questions. 604-504-7441, extension 4142 is the number. Once again, that's 604-504-7441, extension 4142. And you can email us at info@drlesleyphillips.com. Oh, we have a listener. Oh, good. We have a phone call. That's fantastic. So I'd love to find out what our next, what our caller's wants to ask about. They want us to shed the light of truth on something, give them some guidance on a question. So I think Corey's patching them in right now. Hello, listener.
Hi, Lesley. How are you?
Very good, thank you. And how are you?
Pretty good. This is Alana.
Yeah.
Talked to me before.
Hi, Alana.
Hi.
So what's your question?
Yeah, actually, it helped me reword how I'm gonna ask it, because I realized I want to know whether I'm telling myself the truth or not. I think I've done a lot of healing in the last several years around healing relationships with men.
Right.
For the last actually 3 to 5 years, and I just want to know if you see that as well.
Well, here's the thing. I'll take a look at it for you, Alana. But why don't you play with us a little bit by making your own truth lie rose? So get yourself nice and grounded.
Okay.
Be in the center of your head and create the image of a rose. And then just make the statement to that rose, I have healed my relationship with men. And see if the rose stays the same or if it shifts.
Yes, it stayed the same.
All right. Well, there you go.
Okay. I have a second part question to that.
Sure.
There's just, I dated this guy and that guy, but there's this one guy that I keep kind of going back to, but I don't mean going back out with. We don't really know each other. And this is where it gets tough to, tell the truth from the lie, whether I think he is interested, but I'm not sure. I can't tell because it's hard to be objective in that kind of position. And I'm just wondering if I kind of, I guess it doesn't hurt to go up and talk to him, but I'm just wondering if that's a good idea, if that is something that you see as or what do you see around that?
Is it somebody that you've spoken?
I'll call him Al. What?
Oh, you'll call him Al. You've never spoken to Al? You've just admired him from afar?
Briefly, I've said hi to him and the odd small talk.
Okay, so I'm taking a look at you.
It's hard for me to hear you, but maybe.
Oh, let me turn my volume up a little bit. It's showing on my needle there that I'm very loud on the radio, so anyway, let me take a look. So I'm looking at you and this person, and if there's anything, well, it looks to me as though if there's anything holding you back from talking to him, it's fear of rejection.
Right.
But I'm seeing that it's. I will validate that you've done a lot of work and healing on yourself, because it's not like a really super strong block. But it's almost like, well, you want to guarantee that you're not going to be rejected. And I'm seeing that you're not going to be rejected in the context of going up and having a conversation with this person. I mean, it looks perfectly safe and perfectly fine to do. And if the question is a future time question of, and then will we live happily ever after? That's a whole different question, isn't it? But
well, yeah, I didn't actually ask that, but I guess you knew I was kind of.
Yeah, but like going up and talking to this person and being friendly, it looks absolutely fine. It looks like it would be received well, and that this would be, a person open to making a connection. And and then what comes from there would really be up to the two of you. I mean, it does look like that there's some affinity between you. It does look like there's a potential to there to be a resonance between the two of you. It looks like a friendly encounter. That's what I'm seeing.
I felt like, as opposed to other guys around the same, place, I felt kind of like a feeling at home with him, a familiarity. And then so I didn't know, okay, is this a past life thing, or am I tuning in that him and I are kind of like matched on like an energy level of some sort?
Yeah. Well, it looks like there's a. And when I say a match, I'm not necessarily. What I'm meaning by that is that you're resonating at similar vibrations. So you would make sense to connect with each other. It wouldn't be like, oh well, that person's not interesting. You would be. It looks like you would be interested in each other. I am seeing that you've known him in a past life as well. Probably more than one, but one is showing up quite strongly. So I'll take a look at that for you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's a fairly long time ago. It's about 40% of the way down your timeline of having lifetimes on Earth. And let me just take a look. Well, the symbol that I'm getting to access the lifetime is some runes. Some runes carved on some rocks. So it looks like it's a lifetime in potentially Northern Europe. Yeah, and it looks like it's somewhere like, I want to say somewhere like Lapland or Finland, one of the Nordic countries. And one of the countries where they have long, dark nights. So I'm seeing that you're in a female body, and I'm just looking for who your friend is. Well, it looks like it's somebody that you were close to. I feel that he's maybe a generation older than you. and
in the lifetime.
In the lifetime, and that he's a close family member, and not your father though. It's almost like, see, for some reason, it's almost like a husband, but it's not a husband, if that makes sense. And it's almost like a brother, but it's not a brother. So it's a close, fond relationship that feels like family. But I'm seeing that, well, I'm seeing, it looks like because he was like at least 20 years older than you in this lifetime, that he ended up relying on you, because it looks like either he injured himself or he became unwell in this lifetime. And so it looks like almost like a role reversal took place, because earlier on, when he was still sort of, strong and masculine and able, that and you were a child at that time, it looks that he looked after you, and then when you were an adult and he became unwell, that he had to rely on you more. And so I'm seeing that there was a mutual caring in this lifetime. And, just mutual caring. And I'm not seeing, so I know I said there was some confusion over whether it was sort of husband-like or brother-like. It's more like older brother-like. So I'm not seeing that it was a sexual connection or a connection in that way. But I am seeing that it was a very, very close relationship, because it looks like you lived somewhere very remote and that there weren't a lot of other people around. And so you spent a lot of time together.
And the rocks, or the runes that had writing on it, was that something he was doing, or?
Well, that was the symbol that got me into the lifetime. The particular rune that I saw is the one that's called Fe, F-E or F-E-H, and I believe it's the first rune in the runic alphabet.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if that's got any significance. I'll just, because that rune Fe, it's a rune that is to do with beginnings, new beginnings. It's like it's the beginning of, if you think about, the runic alphabet was written as a circle. Right, and it would go round and round and round and round, but that was kind of like the first letter. And so it's a beginning and an ending. After an ending comes a new beginning. So the significance might be, here's somebody that you, and so it begins again. You meet this person again in this lifetime.
Okay.
Yeah.
It also makes sense, and I can't really say, but, for confidentiality. But it kind of makes sense to me, what you're saying.
Oh, good.
I just don't want to go in deeper right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, thanks a lot.
Oh, you're welcome.
Really helpful.
Very welcome. Thank you for calling the show.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, talk to you later.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. So I'm going to go to some ads again, and then we will take more of your questions, callers. So I'm going to read out the number, which is 604-504-7441, extension 4142. Hello, listeners. Welcome back to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley. So on Unlocking Your Truth tonight, we made an attempt at unlocking your truth by teaching you how to tell the difference between the truth and a lie. And we did it very quickly, but I hope you got some value from that. And write to me and let me know if it helped you tell the truth from a lie.
I think they could use that program down in the States right now.
Yeah. So info@drlesleyphillips.com. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's really good for that. Yes, they have weapons of mass destruction. We must go to war with them. Put up the rows and say, well, that's an old one, right, from the Gulf War with Iraq, but they didn't have chemical weapons.
I don't see the I see the correlation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you would have been able to see that if you'd had that technique at that point. Anyway, welcome back, listeners, and it's the time in the show where we answer your questions, where we try to shed some more light on your truth by answering your questions. And over the last 2 weeks, we've had lots of people write into us at info@drlesleyphillips.com, by the way. But you can call 604-504-7441 extension 4142 right now if you want to be live on air. Other than that, though, Corey, do you have a question?
Oh, I got lots of them. I think our question machine was fixed.
Yeah, I think it was.
By the way, that just means that we had a little bit of an issue with our website, so we don't have a question machine. Just comes out of the machine.
We have an answer machine.
Okay, here's a question from Cassie. Cassie says, I listen to your radio station on podcast and want to ask you a question. This year feels like a year of beginnings and endings for me. My relationship is near its end, but I'm growing in spirituality, so I'm positive that it's for the best. I recently was told that I may have clairaudience and that after doing some research, I think it's possible. When I first met my partner, I heard a clear male voice in my right ear telling me he will be an important part of your life. Later on, the same voice told me internally, tell him. When I was hesitating admitting a financial mistake I had made to him, so you were supposed to tell him. I hear random song lyrics playing in my head from time to time that feel like messages relating to things going on at the time. Do you see me being able to develop this ability any further? Is it even real? Will it get stronger, or is this the extent of it for me? Also, are you able to email me if my question is answered on air so I don't miss it?
Well, if that would keep me very busy if I did that for everybody. But you're in luck because I think I've put your question in my free card reading list. And I'm going to answer them tomorrow. So if I remember, I'll tell you. Let's take a look. At you and your clairaudience. Well, it certainly looks like your clairaudience is on fire, that's for sure. And so the question was, will you be able to develop it in the future? Well, I'm seeing that you are developing it, that it is opening, that it is a gift that you have. And, really all it takes with these intuitive abilities is a desire and some commitment and some focus to spend the time and energy, the time that it takes to focus on it and activate it. And so the answer to that is yes. I'm just going to look at what you might want to do. What might be a good idea is to find a teacher who can help you with that and give you some guidance in what you can do to consciously focus on developing it. And I'll just mention I do have a training course on clairaudience, which there is a prerequisite of doing my Unlock Your Intuition course, but at the moment the clairaudience course is actually included as a bonus. So if you're seriously interested, Cassie, then I would just say write to me at info@drlesleyphillips.com and I can send you some information about that training program. But I would say that, you definitely have an ability there and it is naturally unfolding and opening. And if you would like some help and assistance in understanding it and learning how to control it, there's lots of teachers out there, and I'm one of them if you're attracted to that.
Okay. Let's see. I have a comment here it's really nice that some of our listeners are actually commenting, not just asking questions. And feel free, listeners, when you listen to a podcast, send us a note. Tell us what you think. And this is from, I won't mention her name, but she's in Hawaii.
Nice.
Aloha, Dr. Lesley and Corey. Thank you for including me. Thank you so much for answering my question on air. I was listening to your episode UYT140 and almost dropped my tea when I realized you were reading my message. It just so happens that I have been having a particularly hard season and was getting very frustrated and stuck, but now I truly feel like I'm on the right path. I have never experienced this kind of validation before, so thank you. Hearing about my past life as a pirate of sorts and its influence on my present life was also eye-opening. More than anything, however, I feel as though a weight has been lifted off my shoulders, that I'm a part of a larger story, that I don't have to feel like I'm failing and not making enough effort. You made my day. No, month. Thank you again for reading and for doing this show. I look forward to listening to your shows.
Yeah, thank you so much. We really love it when we get feedback about the show, and to know that we are helping you, because that's why we do it. So thank you so much for writing and letting us know.
Okay, so I have one from Cher here. And Cher writes, Dear Dr. Lesley, thank you for attending to my email. Much gratitude to the service you give others unconditionally. Recently, in the middle of my vision field, I saw an orb from white sparkles runs to an orange or white or with golden. Let me read that again. I see an orb from white sparkles runs to an orange or with gold and blue rings around it. After some moments, it turns to red orb, then to a heart-shaped form, then disappears and goes back to white sparkles. Could you be so kind as to shed some light on this for me? Thank you so much. Cher.
Okay, well, I'll do my best. I always feel a little bit stumped when it comes to these orbs, really. So let's take a look. Because there's so many just different energy phenomena out there. And sometimes it doesn't really have much of an explanation apart from you're seeing energy, You're seeing an energy configuration. But I'll go into trance and take a look at your particular thing. Okay, so you're seeing a white orb that goes orange. Oh, this is an interesting one. Well, I'm actually seeing that you're being signaled. You're being signaled. It is a definite signal, and you're being signaled. To me, what it looks like, it's almost like you're being I'm trying to find the words. You're being signaled, and it's like somebody signaling you from calling you from their mobile phone, and the phone rings, right? Except this is like an off-planet signal, and it feels to me that you have actually got a strong connection with a group of off-planet beings, and they are wanting to help you activate some spiritual information that's within you, and wanting you to alert you to the fact that they exist, help you remember, and help open up the communication channels with them. So I am seeing that particular sequence of color frequencies and shapes, and it's a signature that you're meant to recognize these beings by, because it gives you information about kind of where they're calling from and what their relationship with you is. So that's what I'm seeing, and I wanted to say I'm looking for where the signal comes from. And No, I want to say it's possibly the Sirius, well, not Sirius, but Orion's belt, which points down to Sirius, the star on the far left of Orion's belt. So that's what I'm seeing. It's like extraterrestrial signals. I hope that makes sense to you. And if you'd like to have more information about it, then I would just say get in touch, and you can write to me at info@drlesleyphillips.com, and we can go into it in more depth about who these are and specifically what your relationship with them is. But we are getting to the end of the show, and so you've been listening to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley, broadcasting on 101.7 FM across the Fraser Valley on CIVL. And also, you can listen to us on the podcast on drlesleyphillips.com. You'll find lots and lots and lots of episodes there now, all cross-referenced by subject matter.
And next week we have a guest, Mark Anthony.
Yeah, the psychic lawyer, medium Mark Anthony. So that's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
I bet you he can tell the truth from a lie.
Yeah. You would think, right?
Yeah.
And it's been a great time tonight. Some good questions.
Yeah. See you next week, folks.
Thank you for joining us. You've been listening to another Unlocking Your Truth podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips. For more information, go to her website at drlesleyphillips.com. That's drlesleyphillips.com, where you can ask questions or send her an email, and there's many free gifts on there for you as well. Come back again.